Tonight on 8 out of 10 Cats, stand up for Mark Watson. Class act, Stephen Mangan. And their team captain, John Locke. And facing them tonight, chat show queen, Vanessa Feltz. New kid on the block, Daniel Sloss. And their team captain, Jason Manford. Now, welcome your host, Jimmy Cowell.
Hello and welcome to 8 out of 10 Cats, a show about opinion polls, surveys and statistics. Did you know, for example, 15% of people say if their remote control broke, they would continue watching the same channel? Hello? 10% of women have cried in a dressing room. I guess they weren't expecting to see me in there. According to a recent survey, all that's required to maximise happiness is one sexual partner annually. I said annually. And 20% of men claim that they can do DIY better than any professional. £5,000 for eye surgery? Come here, you. Right, let's get started. What are you talking about? That's the name of our first round. We've teamed up with a leading polling organisation and they've asked the British nation what stories they've been discussing this week. It's our panellists' job to guess the British public's top 5 most popular talking points. Stephen, Mark, Sean, what have the world been talking about?
Is it the big mix-up at the carpet warehouse?
I didn't hear about the big mix-up.
Oh, the wrong carpet went to the wrong place. Those people got the wrong floor coverings. It's just around Dunstable. It wasn't over the whole country. It was just one branch.
There was quite a lot of coverage at the time, though. Yeah. It's been that and the Millibands, basically, but it's 50-50 which one we go for.
I think this was more inconvenient.
Mark, tell me more about this other story.
Is it?
It was terrible business, Jimmy. I mean, these carpets, literally. No, the Millibands. These two brothers went for the Labour job and one of them got it, but unfortunately it was a younger one, so it's a bit embarrassing.
It is a little bit embarrassing.
It is a bit, because if you're the older brother, you don't want to lose to your younger brother. If I'd been Ed, in my speech I would have said, gutted. And if I'd been David, I'd have given him a Chinese burn in return. If they're really brothers, I'm very disappointed, you know.
I thought David was actually pretty cool about it. I'd have gone for the handshake, but then, like, grabbed his hands and gone, what, you punching yourself for? What, you punching yourself for?
What kind of brothers are these, really?
Kneel on his arms and dribble out your mouth and then just suck it back in at the last minute. That's what they did, apparently, around the back.
Yeah. Sort it out. Daniel, you've got a younger brother, right?
2.
You've got 2 younger brothers.
Yeah.
OK, if they beat you at something...
I'd be pretty good, considering they're 6 and 10, so...
I reckon David's the winner, actually. I don't think he wanted to lead the Labour Party. Labour Party hasn't got... 10 years it's going to be out of power. He probably just said, I want to lead the Labour Party. He knew his brother would go, oh, I'm going to try and lead the Labour Party. And when he lost, he just went, hey, you're leading the Labour Party now. I'm going to open a strip club.
I feel for the mother. I mean, you have to think, for God's sake, you know, I cleaned your dirty little winkles when I was changing your nappies. I breastfed you boys, and now this, you're humiliating me in front of the whole country. It's terrible. You want to just bash their heads in.
didn't she?
How's she being humiliated?
Because they should have argued it out beforehand and not held the family up to ridicule over it.
I think it's very difficult for mothers to pick a favourite, and they've done it for her. She can clearly go, now, my favourite is the successful one, the other one, go on, sling her.
It's going to be awkward writing that letter that Mum sent out saying we've all had a good year. Ed's become leader of the Labour Party. David's had a good year as well.
He's a weird-looking guy. Have you got a picture of him?
Who, David Miliband?
No, Ed. I think Ed's weirder.
He's a little bit Wallace from Wallace and Gromit, isn't he?
I think he looks like a startled Hawaiian lesbian. You know when you
I'm
come
not even
across...
going to ask how you know that.
You know when you come across one in a clearing and they're just squatting down having a shit, lifting up their grass skirt, and they look at you like that.
I was wondering what he reminded me of, and now I know.
He doesn't believe in God either, does he?
Who, Ed?
Yeah, which is quite a departure for a political leader, to not believe in God. But I like when he comes out and he goes, but I do believe in voodoo. He's got the camera with loads of pins in it, going, I'm alive.
Let's have a look and see if it's up there. Yes, the new Labour leader is Ed Miliband. The Labour leadership contest was so exciting, I was literally on the edge of my sleep. 13% of votes in the Labour Party leadership contest were spoiled. I say spoiled, they voted for Diane Abbott. OK, Jason's team, what do you think? What else have people been talking about this week?
Apparently the NHS are going to start paying smokers to quit smoking and fat people to stop being fat. You can go into the doctors now with a burger going, you better give me your money or the burger gets it. It doesn't make any sense at all. I meat some point, they're saying they're going to pay pregnant women in vouchers to stop smoking because it's harmful to the baby. You're like, what sort of person is going, no, I want to keep smoking. Well, hold on, top shop vouchers? No, that's fine. You know, the same thing with your baby, no, but that new top, fine, that works out.
I think what they should do is, instead of this, is they say every day the police are going to shoot one smoker and one fat person. So it's up to you. You can take a risk, you can be fat, you can be a smoker, but there's a chance the government will kill you. I'm not mental, I'm not an extremist, just one a day, anywhere in the UK.
That's a lovely, interesting lesson to learn there, because when someone says, I'm not mental, I'm not an extremist, it almost certainly means they are.
You know, it'd be like the Google streetcar. You know, it's going around the country, and it sees someone smoking outside of... And everyone can relax. He'd be on the news saying the day's execution's been carried out.
I think it might be a bit stressful and everyone might take up smoking.
Yeah. How much do you get for giving up food?
They've basically done sort of a pilot scheme in Kent, and dieters were paid £425 for losing weight.
That could be your job. Yeah. Just going up and down. You could have the same sort of rack of different clothes throughout the wardrobe. And then you get smaller again, you go back.
Yo-yo dieting, getting bigger, then smaller, bigger, then smaller. Vanessa, no one is even thinking of you
I
at this
don't know
time.
why you'd even look at me. Now I realise I didn't need to work at all the last few years. I could have made a living just yo-yoing away.
What do you think? Because you've battled, you're looking lovely this evening, you've lost loads of weight.
Thank you. I've spent all the wedding money on the gastric band.
Did you got the gastric band? You've been very open about that as well, which is fabulous.
Yeah.
Because people on TV often go, well, I just exercise and I just take care of myself, and you go, really? Did you?
Gastric to the hilt and Botoxed as well.
So
anything else I do?
When did you get it and how much did you lose?
I got it on June the 18th, and I've lost just about 2 pounds less than 3 stone. So it's very quick, so it's quite good.
How does it work? Like, why is...
Well, it works if once you start eating, you have to stop, because you can't...
See, I'd have to just put one around my throat. I think that's the only way I could ever...
Well, it pretty much is, that's exactly it.
I lost 3 stone as well, but the harder way, like exercise and diet and that, and...
Sorry, Jason, you forgot your handbag when you said...
no. When you tell people that you've lost, like you said, often you get like one of these. And that's horrible, because that is what the sound was when you used to go running.
You've got sort of the opposite problem, haven't you? Because you're lanky, streaky pits.
Yeah.
How much do you weigh, Daniel?
I'm 12 stone. I just don't...
12 stone?
What about you? You're only...
9.5, mate.
9.5?
If I had a gastric band, I would die.
I was thinking instead of a gastric band, getting a brass band just near the fridge.
Or a bouncer, that'd be good. You had a bouncer near your fridge, and you just go to your fridge and just go, wah! You go, oh, what's this getting in yoghurt? Wah, wah, wah.
OK, let's have a look and see if it's up there.
Oh, really?
Yes! A new report has suggested that the NHS pay smokers to quit and fat people to lose weight. Paying smokers to quit, it is ridiculous. What's next for the NHS? Paying money to nurses? So back over to Sean's team, what else have the nation been talking about?
Surely they've been talking about Beckham.
Go on, tell me what...
There is a lady in the United States, a woman who is claiming to have been paid for sex by David Beckham.
She might be a woman, but she's not a lady.
She's not a lady, no lady. She's a high-class hooker, I think, is what the papers described her as.
It's worth pointing out at this stage, David Beckham has refuted all allegations and he's suing the magazine.
Well, no, his whole defence is like, why would I cheat on my wife? And you're like, well, because she looks like a pencil with a ribbed condom on, that's what...
Harsh, but fair.
Did you see how much she cost, this lady?
Go on.
$3,200.
Yeah.
I thought, what? I mean, that's a lot of money. I mean, what's she got that other women... How many vaginas can one woman have? That's what I'm saying. If she hasn't got 3,200, then I'm not interested.
You're saying a pound a go?
A pound a go.
What do you think, Vanessa?
I just don't understand how come he's suing her for 16 million. She may be a high-class hooker, but blimey, where's she meant to have that kind of dosh?
Well, he knows she's got at least 3,200.
He does not know that, Jason.
No, of course he doesn't.
How could he know?
She says she's got the proof because there's a distinguishing mark on his penis.
But what sort of mark is it?
It's actually not a mark. I was thinking, you know that phrase, bend it like Beckham? Maybe his willy just goes, whoa! And literally, because he's good at crosses, it just goes, wow! Straight, it doesn't go out, just goes, off to the left.
Like a normal penis?
Yeah. Well, it's sort of like...
But if I was David Beckham's lawyer, what I would do is I'd say, well, fair enough, OK, he's got a strange discoloration, whatever, on his penis, but what's to say there aren't other people with that? So really, for her to win the case, they have to see every penis in the world. Is it yours? Is it Jason's?
Should we get this out of the way now?
Well, let's start with Mangan.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mangan. I think you said Wangan.
That's what I call it.
He's been called... I call it the Wangan.
Oh, yeah.
Disappointing.
Oh, no, I've come up with a nickname for someone else's cock.
Mine!
As a footballer, loads of people have seen his willy, because he gets naked at the end of every game. He gets in that bath with all his mates, and they do that. I do that on a Sunday when I'm playing football, and I see, you know, I mean, I'm the referee for a kids' team, but I mean, it's just...
Jason, if you're... You know those footballers' baths? You wouldn't necessarily see the willies unless you put on some goggles and just went... Oh.
So when they get out, they go, close your eyes, everybody, I'm getting out. Like, you still see it when they're getting out, don't you?
Daniel, you shouldn't listen to any of this.
Yes, grown-ups talking, Daniel.
I won't do this, otherwise I'll look like the kid from Home Alone, so I'll leave that out there.
Just for your reference, you don't need to do that to look like the kid from Home Alone. Let's have a look and see if David Beckham is one of the most talked-about things this week.
Oh, he's not happy there.
Yes, David Beckham is to sue the magazine that claims he slept with a prostitute. The headline for the last 10 days has been "Footballer doesn't sleep with hooker." And in this day and age, that is news. I worry that this will take David Beckham's mind off his career. Sunglasses don't wear themselves in photos, you know, David. Right, Jason, Daniel and Vanessa, what else have the nation been talking about this week?
Guy from Team America is no longer the president of some country.
Jong Il.
Kim Jong Il, yeah. He's,
The guy from Team America.
Yeah.
OK, can someone get me the Minister for Education in Scotland on the phone now? Because there's a problem, yeah.
They're trying to decide which one of his... no, they've decided which one of his sons, and...
I think he's hinted heavily at which one's going to take
Yeah,
over.
because one of them is apparently too feminine. And this is coming from a man who, on his birth, claimed that it was marked by a double rainbow and a bright shining star, essentially the gay Jesus.
Yeah, and he wears high heels and has got the hair of Bonnie Tyler, so he's not got anything to say...
What, are you slagging off Kim Jong Il?
Not to his face, like, but... Well, from the comfort of this studio in the UK, yeah, I think he's a prick.
Yeah, I'll join in.
Yeah?
Yeah, you're...
Yeah.
Kim Jong Il.
Kim is a girl's name, really. Again, I say this with the greatest respect.
Guys, you don't want to do that. Just have a look at how his security forces are trained. Have a look at this.
Training for the bodyguards was intense, as this previously unseen footage shows.
At another human being, was that?
Yeah, but that's training. You know, sometimes when you need to train for something, so someone hits you with a stick. Well, I can tell you, it's not one of the most talked about things this week.
No
It's
way.
not in the top 5. But Kim Jong Il is to name the new leader of North Korea. Politics is tough in North Korea. It's man-eat dog. OK, fingers on buzzers. 2 more to get. What else have people been talking about?
My new album. They talking about that?
You got a new album, Sean?
Yeah. Kachi Katuna Harp, I
Sorry, what was it called again? I didn't
It's a
quite catch it.
concept album. Changes every time I remember it. I don't know what they're talking about.
Is it the X Factor?
Go on, what about the X Factor?
It's on, isn't it?
That's pretty much my
Bit of
opinion.
topical satire there.
It's basically a huge cultural phenomenon now, which we can't... It's like a juggernaut. People can't talk about anything else.
There was the punch. That was quite. There was
Oh,
a
yeah.
whole thing that for weeks. There was some, let's call her fat friend punched her other, let's call her fat friend in the face for not being able to sing. And it built up for weeks, and then it wasn't even a good punch. And you were just like, oh, that's a shame. And you sort of felt like Cheryl Cole should have been able to get, no, love, you want to swing back. Pretend she's a toilet attendant. On you go, on you go.
I am aware, though, that the two women on it is Cheryl Cole. She's had malaria, which has finally answered that question, what do you give the woman who's got everything? The other one, she's been off, hasn't she? Cheryl's been off. And then there's Danny Minogue, she's the other, she's been off, they haven't been off. And it's just so typical, isn't it? At the time, women, they get a good job and then they just take time off, don't they? Simon Cowell, he went for his mammogram, he was back that afternoon. He was back at work, even though it's really sore. That programme is entirely... It's not about a talent search, it's about the elimination. It's about the getting rid of people.
Yeah.
That's what people are watching for, and that's what's really quite unpleasant about it, because most of those people have gone on it. It's their last chance of improving their lives, anyway. They're sort of farting around singing Bright Eyes, thinking, this will get me out of negative equity.
They always make a point of saying this is my last chance. That quite often they'll say, I work in a pizza restaurant, it's really lifeless, I hate my colleagues, I hate my life, I'll definitely kill myself if I don't get through. And then it's really awkward if you don't go through. Then they say, hello, on the Monday morning.
Stephen, do you watch The X Factor?
No, I don't. Because what I find weird about the whole thing is that there are a lot of amazing singers out there, but you don't get an hour and a half on a Saturday night devoted to them. You get the people who can't sing. It's something about Britain, isn't it? That we like watching people who are shit at what they do. I mean, I'm a Spurs fan, so I know how it feels, but... yeah, it's a weird phenomenon.
But you know, I don't know about you, but I stopped watching it after the Nutters stage. You know, we watch it up to that point, and then when it's all good singers, you go, I'm no longer interested in this. Yeah. This is just a talent competition. Yeah. I wanted to know, early on, I wanted to see...
The freaks.
Yeah, I want to see them lined up outside, all these people. I'm from Narnia! Go in straight away, you're first. You're first. Get in there, sing us a song.
I think it's a shame they don't have the Nutters stage on Britain's Next Top Model. I mean, that's a shame. Yeah, well, we'll see. What have you got? You've got like an arm coming out of their head. Well, no, you haven't made it through.
They are missing a trick there. That'll be amazing.
They've got teeth like you can eat an apple at arm's length.
Because on that show, it's like, it's 12 hot girls and they pick the hottest over weeks.
Yeah. I think that's terrible. I think that's worse show than the X Factor for the elimination process, because most of a model doesn't... There's no skill involved in being a model, whatsoever. It's the least skilled job on the planet. A model's job is to put that on and stand over there. That's all they have to do, is put that on, love, stand over there. No, not there. There. That's it. Be back with you in a minute. It's the least skilled job on the planet.
I wish you were one of the judges.
Yeah. You just find the most beautiful girl and say to her, do you want to do it? Do you want to do the job? There's all these other girls who've got no chance.
Did you see it this week on the Australia's Next Top Model? Did you see that clip that went round?
Extraordinary.
And she says to one girl, you know, you've won, and then slowly dawns on her that she hasn't won, the other one won, and she's already in the middle of her acceptance speech. I can almost see David Miliband watching the video on loop, just going, maybe it could happen to me.
And let's have a look and see whether the X Factor is one of the most talked about things this week.
And then all we've got left is the Ryder Cup.
I'm not a fan of X Factor, but I do watch it and think Chloe Mafia. I wouldn't mind giving her a tragic backstory. I'll be honest with you, I don't even really know what that means. Simon Cowell couldn't care less about recent complaints. For him, it's like water off a cock's back. Sorry, I mean like semen off a man's cock. Cock in a duck's ass? What's that expression? Anyway, it's like that. Join us after the break when we'll be finding out which other stories are the most talked about things this week. Welcome back. We're trying to guess the most talked about things this week. Fingers on buzzers.
Is it that one member of the audience in a white hat who, for some reason, is like quite angelic right at the back of the room there, freaking me out all the way through?
Lord, do you have... Do you have a message for us? We've just chosen to randomly light one member of the audience like an angel.
Really well lit.
Take your hat off, sir. We've got standards. Oh, no, sorry. Put it back on. I had no idea. I'm sorry. OK, go on, Tim.
The Ryder Cup going to Newport.
Yes, the glam of the glitz.
I heard that the players, they've banned all the players from tweeting. They're not allowed to tweet.
Oh, yeah, they're not allowed
and
to...
Tiger Woods, he's not even allowed to wink.
He's admitted this week that his troubles have stemmed from misunderstanding his dad on his deathbed. Apparently his dad said to Tiger, son, you just got to concentrate on the golf. Fuck everything else.
Come on, Stephen Mangan, everyone. Have you been following the golf?
God, no. My dad used to play golf. And he played golf religiously every Sabbath when he should have been in synagogue atoning for his sins. He'd play golf. And all I can remember is my mother shrieking Norman, for Norman was his name, Norman the Knicker King he was known as. And my mother would yell every Saturday morning, because he was in the underwear business, my father. Did you not know?
Oh, I thought you meant he actually wore a pair of knickers on his head like a crown.
Only at parties.
The Knicker King.
Only at parties. He was the Knicker King, and he bought the first ever pair of edible panties to this country, my dad. He imported it
What, hero?
from Holland.
Did he spit them out at Dover?
Pineapple flavour.
Hang on a minute. There we go.
So every Saturday morning, my father would set off for the golf course, and my mother would shriek out the window, Norman, don't have the smatner. Do you know what smatner is?
No.
It's kind of like sour cream with vegetables chopped into it.
Oh, yeah,
and my
okay,
father
yeah,
would order the smatner, I don't know how you pronounce it, schmatner, I don't know, and that would mean that she'd have to make him tea when he came in, because he was hungry, and she didn't want him to have that. She wanted him to have a substantial lunch at the golf club, and he just wouldn't. He would just routinely have the smatner, which would really annoy her, and the whole golf thing has become so deeply confused in my mind with the smatner and the misery of the whole thing, and my father bringing in the first pair of edible knickers. I just can't deal with it. I'm definitely not watching it. You can't persuade me to either. No.
OK, well, I think Vanessa's having her second TV meltdown. Would you like to... Can we get Vanessa a pen to write degraded on the desk?
Swing it! Get me some.
Any thoughts on the golf?
I think every sport would be improved by having an ordinary member of the public doing it. Because you can't tell how fast he's going. 100 metres is run. You can't really tell how fast they are. And if you had an ordinary guy running it as well.
Good idea.
Every sport.
That's such a good idea.
The pole vault. Then you'd appreciate how hard it is.
Literally running along next to them.
Just some guy running along who doesn't know how to do it. Every sport you pick one guy at rugby, there'd be some guy on the wing, you know.
That's such a good idea.
High diving.
This is how I know Heskey got in the squad as well.
OK, let's have a look and see if the Ryder Cup is up there. Yes, the Ryder Cup started in Wales this morning. The former Welsh First Minister, Rhodri Morgan, asked why Americans have heard of Ireland, Scotland and England, but haven't heard of Wales. And if you're watching, the answer to that question is B, shithole. So those were the most talked about stories this week. But in other news, the Commonwealth Games are due to start on Sunday. India campaigned to host the Games with the slogan, "Please God, not us." A new survey has revealed that most people now have a midlife crisis in their 30s. I knew I had to make a change when I spotted the first grey hair. I said, "You've got a grey hair, I'm divorcing you and going to Thailand." And Michael Jackson's former bodyguard claims he could be Blanket's father. Luckily, with Blanket, they don't need a DNA test. They just check the label. So at the end of that round, Sean, Stephen and Mark have 3 points. Jason, Vanessa and Daniel have 2 points. Our next round is Pick of the Polls. Have a look at this.
Are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go!
That is pretty impressive, right?
I'd have been better if you'd had to climb over from cubicle to cubicle. In between.
And there were guys in there.
There should have been people using
People in there. You had to have a fight with everyone.
That is an event.
She said I inspired, didn't she? She said, so it's obviously German television.
Yeah.
This is the point they've got to in German television now. Yes, you may have met me. Yes, I am the man who smashes the toilet seats. Can I buy you a drink? He's in the hotel bars, that's how he picks up women. I am the man who smashes the toilet seats on my head.
It says Armitage Shanks in backwards lettering.
Here's your related question. 55% of men have done something stupid just to try and impress someone. True or false?
It's way too low.
Yeah, it sounds like everyone's done that.
Everyone's done something.
Sean, you ever done anything to try and impress someone?
At school, I ate a pig's eye. I remember that. We were dissecting a pig's eye. And I said to everybody in the class, and the teacher got involved in it, I said, if everyone gives me 20 pence, I'll eat this eye. And the teacher was... Science teachers were rubbish when I went to school. And the teacher said, well, who's up for this then? And they all... And I must have made it... I mean, a lot of kids didn't pay up, and some did. I made about £1.60, and I ate this big, fat, juicy pig's eye.
I'm really confused by how much more attractive... I've always found Sean incredibly attractive anyway, but that needless to say, but how much more...
This, Sean?
Yes, but how much... Well, naturally, it's a chemical thing, but I'm confused. Look at that, you see? Look, he's gorgeous. When he was so much sexier when he was impersonating the man who broke the toilet lids with his head than when he was talking about the thing he really did and eating that pig's eye, and I don't know, why was that? Did you agree with that?
What,
when he was saying, I
Is it
am the
because it
man
didn't
who
sound
cleans...
kosher to you?
It was yes. It's an ancestral
turn
thing.
off. You went, oh,
yeah.
no, not a
when it was
pig's
a
eye.
pig's eye, I didn't like it.
That'd be a sheep's eye, you'd be wolfing them down. Mark, what have you done to try and impress them?
Well, got my cock out. It wasn't stupid, but it wasn't exactly appropriate either.
But I was impressed.
I have an extraordinary story about such a thing. We got a list of the stupidest things people have done to impress their mates. And a 32-year-old British man got his penis stuck in a mousetrap when he was 14 years of age, OK? And he was at college, and he told that story to his friends, and he got a mousetrap, and he was showing them how he did it. And he did it again.
There's a guy in Poland I know who nailed his testicles to a table.
To impress someone, or...?
Drunk, but to impress. Someone said, I bet you won't nail your testicles to a table. And he went, watch this, I'm going to get a hammer and some nails. And he came back and he nailed his nads to the top of the...
Did he get the job?
Their version of The Apprentice is so much harder than ours.
I was about 15 and I was walking home with a girl, and these lads attacked us. They went to hit her, and I said, oh, don't hit her. You know, just hit me. And they went, yeah, that's fair enough. And and then they did. And then I thought, why have I said this? And then they were beating me up and that. And then they ran off. And then she was like picking me up and, oh, you all right? Thanks for that. And I thought, I felt a little bit of a hero. So that's when I suddenly got brave and went, hey, come back! And they went, yeah, all right, yeah, we will. I've done that for. And at 15, what's the best you could hope for out of that situation?
Yeah.
Inside bra, maybe.
Were you wearing a bra then?
I was, yeah. That's why they beat me up.
So do you think the majority of men have done something stupid to try and impress someone? What are you going for, true or false?
What do you think? Is that 55%?
55%, yes, true.
I think true, yeah.
You think true? What are you going to go for, Sean?
True.
But go true. I can tell you the answer is true. Yes, 55% of men have done something stupid just to try and impress someone. I remember trying to impress a girl in Paris about 10 years ago. She was in a limo, going through a tunnel. I was whizzing around in a white Fiat, doing all these tricks. I took loads of photos, but I never heard from her again, sad. What? Oh, not really. I was on one of the scooters. Welcome back to 8 out of 10 Cats, and the winner is the name of our final round. Here's your first one. Top worry for teenage boys.
Priests.
Vanessa, what do you think teenage boys worry about?
I think they worry about baldness.
What?
Because there are lots of teenage boys that they start losing their hair incredibly young, and they've never even been through that kind of lush, luxuriant hair phase. You see them? I bet they're
All teenagers?
Yeah.
I think those people are very ill.
Are they? No. They start losing their hair young, and they're young, and they start to look old, and they start to look
they're
old.
in a hospital, Vanessa. This is inappropriate.
Not those ones. It's hair loss.
Oh, yeah, they're receding.
That's what they're worried about.
Yeah, teenage boys, you know, with the pipes and they're losing their hair. And sometimes their hips go. Yeah, they're teenagers. You know, you've been lying about your age so long, you've forgotten what teenager is.
Is it who you're allowed to fancy anymore? Because the cast of Harry Potter are the same age as me, and when it came out when I was 11, and I fancied, like, Emma Watson, Hermione Granger then, and then I started growing up and I fancied her through all the films. But now that I'm 20, sort of looking back and watching the first film, like, you sort of go, oh, no, I did fancy, I don't know if I'm still, it's that awkwardness of, am I allowed to?
Jimmy was. Jimmy was quite comfortable with it, weren't you?
I'm fine with that. Goblet of Fire onwards, you're fine. I've looked this up. When
You've checked it with a lawyer, haven't you?
I checked it with my lawyer, yes.
My sister is called Emma Watson, so that makes it all the more complicated.
Is it something sexual, Jimmy?
No, it's not something sexual, no. Is
it about the economy and how it will recover over the next 10 years and their chances of getting gainful employment after they've been to university?
It's to do with something that you're not.
You're not popular?
Not cool.
That's the right answer.
Oh.
Yes, the top worry for teenage boys is not being cool. If you're being bullied at school, there's someone you can call. Your mum. I was so cool at school, they used to let me have Fridays off to see a psychologist about my bedwetting. OK, the next question is... Best idea that hasn't been invented?
Family-size Bing Django. That'd be good, wouldn't it?
Family-size what?
Bing Django.
Bing Django?
Bing Django?
Well, it's not been invented yet, has it? So I just...
Django. Yeah, he got me good and proper. OK, best idea that hasn't been invented yet?
An iPhone that works. That'd be nice. I've got one now where I've got a new one and everything, but for some reason, every time I smile, it hangs up on people. That's what I do. So basically, when I ring people, I say, don't say anything nice.
I think my cheeks are big enough that I can dial numbers.
So if you were having a stroke, you could probably just dial 999 automatically.
Best idea that hasn't been invented. Vanessa, anything
Yeah, I need it urgently, please. I need a cure for the menopause urgently, because it looks really shit. I think you just wrinkle up like a leaf and all your bits dry up, and I don't fancy it. Now, quickly, I've got about 2-3 years max.
I think the cure probably is Daniel.
Yes?
I think, you know that Wii thing? I think they should do more games, like Wii Conkers would be good. And there's just two people standing with those remote things going... Another one goes, all right, and then you hold your Wii like that. And they go...
What about wee tiddlywinks? We just go...
Yeah. really expand the whole Wii thing.
Wii staring contest.
Yeah.
So similar to a real staring contest.
Just hold it like that.
Yeah.
You're good.
Yeah. Thank you.
Or FIFA World Cup linesman. And you just spend your whole time in the living room going... Yeah.
Well, you know, that's not that far away from the truth. If you played the new, like, FIFA game, you can play as one player rather than the whole team. You play as one player, but you're not in the first team straight away. So there's about 4 weeks where you're just sat on the bench just waiting for your chance.
Yeah, you just sort of
This is my game!
Best thing that hasn't been invented yet.
Remote control for other people.
Well, a remote control that would actually work on human beings.
Yeah, other people. Like
Well, in fairness, when they're watching me, it does work.
I'll tell you what, it's a good remote control, is to have one for pregnant women, and you can press it on rewind. Just go back to before she was pregnant. And then you've got nothing to worry about, have you?
That actually happened during my sex education. I was 10 years old and we were given the birthing video.
10 years old? Well, I
Yeah.
suppose it is Scotland, fair enough, 10.
Yeah. The teacher had watched it through to make sure it wasn't too gory for us, and then she put it in and she pressed rewind. And that was our first... So basically, there was this beautiful moment of this, like, mother sitting down cradling her baby, like, her dad just in awe, and then this doctor sort of moonwalked in, picked up this child, showed it to the father as in, say goodbye, and then just rammed. Just like...
I think it's high time they had savoury shampoo for men. You know, because they're always quite feminine, they're always sweet things. You go, gammon, I like this. teriyaki.
Oh, kebab, yeah.
Oh, that's nice, that is. Give us a clue.
OK, think Star Trek.
Spaceship.
Stunned.
Oh, I know. Like being able to vaporise someone to another place. Not vaporise. Teleportation.
I'll give you that. That's near enough. OK, you get the point. The best idea that hasn't been invented yet is the teleporter. If teleportation would ruin round-the-world trips, I'm off. I'm back. Stephen Hawking invented a teleporter, but foolishly, he was sitting in an office chair with a speak and spell when he tested it. Well, that sound tells me it's the end of the round and the end of the show, which means the final scores are Jason, Vanessa and Daniel have 6 points, Sean, Mark and Stephen have 4 points. Jason's team have the victory. Thanks to all our panellists, our wonderful studio audience and to all of you for watching at home. That's it from us. Good night.